one of the things that is experiencing a great deal of success is your newest venture, digital lead performance, if I may. Since launching in May in 2019, including the pandemic, digital lead performance has helped dealers sell more than 6,085 motorcycles, leading to over $112 million in revenue for clients. Dealers that partner with DLP achieve average results of 40 to 50% of leads converting to set showroom appointments. 65 to 75% of those appointments are showing up, and 30 to 35% are converting to a sale. That's impressive. Not nearly as impressive as this. You predict that DLP will reach $4.7 million in 2021, up 193.75%. Tell me about this business.
Well, first of all, right now we believe that digital lead performance is the single #1 greatest technology sales technology company in the industry for Harley-Davidson. We're really focused on being strategic partners with dealers. So, I don't want for people to mislead what digital lead performance is. It's not a marketing agency. It's a division. It's an extension of a dealership's sales department, and we focus and we really maximize the digital sales area of a business, which is where dealers today are struggling the most to really excel in.
Yeah. Okay. So help me delineate those two things. You're not a digital marketing agency. You're a digital sales team, right? So what's the difference?
Well, the difference is a digital marketing agency helps the dealership market its product and get leads coming in. And there's a lot of that. And dealers don't struggle with that nearly as much as, quite frankly, the second phase. Let's get a lot of people to walk in the front door. But if I'm the general manager and I spend a lot of money getting a lot of people to walk in the front door, and my salespeople are not taking care of them properly or on time or following up with them, what is the real value that I've used in spending them marketing dollars? In the digital side, we're spending money on websites, we're spending money marketing our websites, and we're getting leads. But those leads have to turn into those benchmarks that you open this conversation with. Yeah. You've got to convert, you've got to get digital leads, you've got to handle digital leads exactly the same way that you handle people walking through the door. There's got to be experience first. That's what makes DLP different than our competitors, of which we don't have many of, but the ones that are out there, our agents are focused on making the customer's experience as good or better than it is in the dealership.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard you use the phrase before, the digital doorway, having customers come through the digital doorway. And I just love that. Okay. So, and I've always thought about marketing is what you do to get the person standing in front of you, and sales is what you do once they're standing in front of you. And that's the part where you kind of integrate with the dealership team.
Yes. Yeah. So I think the real primary difference first off, one of the things that's just absolute is we're in a major changing time. That's a common term that I think we've always used because we're always in a changing time. But one of the big changing times is that customers are using their phone to, quite frankly, determine where they're not going to buy.
Yeah.
Where they're not going to buy.
Right.
What's important is in the pre-digital time frame, we spent money to get the door to swing. Now we spend money to get the digital leads to ding. Okay, we need the phone to ding. And what makes us really good at what we do is we understand what it's like in the pre-digital days, but it hasn't changed. It's just that they're now in a digital doorway. The reality is the customer is wanting to know more about our product offerings through the digital doorway. And we are working hard to take the data we have And now we're across the country. We've got 70 dealers.
Oh my.
So our data is not, when you look at the fact that we've made 1.4 million outbound activities, 1.4 million outbound activities, and we've had 80,000 digital leads that we've managed. Now, if you take 80,000 digital leads, the average dealer gets about 1,000 digital leads a year. That's 80 years of experience.
Yeah.
You got to put some things in concept like that, because data is very important. So it's making us make decisions here, and those decisions are just being transformed into the dealer's performance, because we act as dealer agents.
Yeah. So with all that data, what's the most surprising thing that you've discovered so far?
Well, I think that what surprised me most is that as everything has moved digitally, dealers are not shifting fast enough. I think we're just surprised at what dealers know or don't know or think they know. And I don't mean that disrespectful. We just have a lot more, look, we get to work on it all the time, every day. That's all we work on. So obviously, the opportunity to maximize the knowledge of the digital business is greater for us. And every time we talk to dealers, we're often really surprised at what they don't yet know, what they're not maximizing right now.
Well, one of the things that's kind of interesting is that as a result of the pandemic and inventory shortages, at least on the automotive side, there are some dealers, some sales teams that don't value digital leads as much as the door swing. Are you finding any of that in the motorcycle business as well?
Well, what we find in the motorcycle business today, which is really not different than before, is general managers and dealer principals are looking for ways to maximize their profitability. And of course, they know that digital is very important. Sales teams feel threatened by outside services, and they tend to push up to their leadership that I can do that. You don't need to worry about that. I can do that.
Yeah.
But salesmen really can't do it. The average dealer has about a 5 or 6 hour response time. We have a 5-minute response time. So when I talk to a dealer, I say, look, beyond everything else we provide to you, it doesn't matter. We can talk about every single thing. The number one most important thing is response time.
Yeah.
And why should it be different than when someone walks through the door? We have been beating at the ground forever that when a customer walks through the door, you got to have enough sales staff that nobody has to wait.
Yeah.
So I think that what our dealers learn after about 30 days or 60 days is salespeople really get to do less of the work that they hate to do. Salespeople don't like the follow-up. They don't like the phone. They don't like those things as much as they like the customer walking through the door.
Yeah, the face-to-face.
Well, imagine if you've got 10 customers walking through the door in the past that maybe walked in to get a t-shirt or maybe walked in to get directions. Now you have 8 people that walk in that are on appointment. They're on appointment because they clicked on a digital lead, which means they are interested in a motorcycle, and they've made an appointment to come in and learn more about purchasing that vehicle. So I think it's important to understand we try to fit ourselves into that culture. We really want to be an extension of the team, and we have to work so hard on prepping the dealership staff that, look, don't talk about Scott, the internet guy. Okay, Scott doesn't work here. You can't talk like that. We're a part of your team. We have our salespeople. Our agents get paid on kept appointments.
Yeah.
Okay. Their focus is how do we get people in the store? The second most important thing that they do is follow up.
Yeah.
Our follow up is ruthless in our business.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, I have engaged with some of your agents, and what really impressed me was, of course, this, the speed of response, but also the integrated nature of the language. It really did appear seamless, as if I was speaking with someone from, Doc's Harley Davidson when, I was working with them. Do you think that the digital lead consumer is a savvier shopper, a savvier consumer than somebody who doesn't perform or pursue digital leads?
No,
Yeah.
I just think from a standpoint of customer, there are customer that are very interested in buying motorcycles.
Yeah.
So what we love to tell prospective dealers is, look, every customer we work with has responded to something you've put out into the marketplace.
Yeah.
So we can't let them go, and we don't let them go. Again, one of the things that we always want to tell a prospective dealer is, look, our follow-up truly is, the 90 days prior to us taking on a new dealer are very, very important for us starting up, because we can take all those 90 days with the customers prior and push them forward. We start with the newest one, but we go back 90 days and we pull everybody up, and we prove to a dealer in the first 30 days how many old customers actually want to buy. So I don't really know today if that customer's more savvy. I just know that customer's absolutely interested in buying a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So again, I look at a dealer principal or general manager or sales manager and say, look, the one thing our sales agents are never going to do is they're never going to talk about price or give an outdoor price on the phone. Okay. Wouldn't you love to get your salesman to do that? Okay. Because we all have tried to do that forever, but salesmen get too smart. They just get smart, and I mean, that's just the way it is. And the other thing is that we're always going to look at every customer that we get, which is a digital lead. And we're not going to say he's not a buyer. They're all buyers.
Yeah.
And,
right.
we just, and I'm going to just say one other thing. I think it's really important for you for our audience to really hear is, if you were in the DLP office here where I'm at today, we have our bell goes off also when our agents, when there's deliveries that happen. Our agents are the most excited. Our agents go up and hit the bell when there's 40 agents here. The bell will go off all day long.
Yeah.
We are really, really working.
Yeah, that's great.
We're working in that same environment that we want dealers to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, selling is addictive. In the book Accelerate the Sale that we wrote from McGraw-Hill a number of years ago, we cited research from doctors who were doing MRIs that found that the same areas in your brain would light up when people made sales as if you were using some sort of a stimulant drug. So, it really can be euphoric. So selling is great. Now, let me ask you something. The dealers that I speak to about, those who have partnered with you rave, about your service and their success with you. Do you go through any sort of a qualifying period when you're looking at partnering with a prospective dealer? Do you make sure that somehow they're going to hold up their end of the bargain? I mean, do you ever go into this and say to yourselves internally, I'm not sure if this dealer is right for DLP, or have you not encountered that yet?
I can tell you that we talk about that. We talk about who our customer really is, and the point in which what we see in the point you're making is, there are some dealers that are just, we just can't move them. We can't move our service to actually help them, because if they can't manage the traffic, the appointments that we have, then we look like failures. So we're always trying to defend our cost.
Right.
What we want to be able to do is one, get the dealer to realize that customers love what we do. That's very important for dealers that are good and progressive. And then we really want for dealers to realize that we either grow their business or we maintain that business and they get to do it for less cost.
Yeah.
Because our cost looks expensive until you realize how much money it takes to drive what we do internally. And then you got to manage it.
And one thing that really piqued my interest, last we chatted about DLP. You were saying that your agents get together regularly with your dealer partners and conduct summits that give feedback to the dealer about, what we can all do better to get more sales. Tell me more about those summits.
Well, what we've learned over the last 2 years is the type of everyday save a deals that we want to do in the dealership.
Yeah.
Every week sales meetings that happen in the business. Those things need to continue to happen because we're an extension of the sales department. So we always want people to realize that, we are a digital sales process and we're extension of the dealership sales department. So we have weekly success meetings. We actually work with the dealer. We talk about performance. We talk about best practices, and we're working with the dealer just like we're inside the dealership. We have to do that. So all we're doing is always communicating how to get things done better. And it doesn't sound like much, but one of the things that we want dealers to do on the inside of the dealership when we have appointments is prepare for those appointments.
Yeah.
It's really important when Mark Rodgers goes into ABC Harley Davidson and when he walks in the front door, it says, "Welcome, Mark Rodgers."
Yeah.
Well, people don't think,
and not like they're surprised to see me.
Right. But
Yeah.
the thing about it is that the summits are important, and the summits are designed so that Aaron, who, Aaron's my partner and he runs this business. I mean, Mark, if you spent one day here and you've seen the energy that he has around the sales business, it's totally unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a bright guy.
And I'll tell you, Aaron learned a lot of that, obviously from me, but really by the years of experience, but with Sean Delaney as well. And I love the fact that both of those guys were new to the motorcycle business when they came to work for us. But I think that it's really important to know that the summits are about Aaron talking to his success leaders, and those success leaders then work with their agents, and then they take this information and they have these meetings with the dealerships, and all this information gets transferred. So we're taking the data, we're taking the work, and we're really working as a team.
So everybody gets better.
Yes.
So
yes.
everybody gets better. Okay.
And
now,
I just want to say something.
Sure.
That's where dealers who have been with us a long time versus dealers who are coming on board understand the difference. The amount of added value that we bring to the table is substantial. It's even around sales training. It's even around a recruitment of salespeople. We push a lot of information, and it comes from 40 years of experience, and the only thing that's really changed today is people are coming through the digital doorway instead of the front doors.
Yeah. So bikers are bikers. It's just changed how we've communicated. So to wrap this conversation about digital retailing up, in addition to partnering with DLP, what 2 or 3 pieces of advice would you give dealers so that they can traverse the digital retailing landscape today?
Well, the first piece of information is that if dealers don't change, if the business, the dealership landscape is changing, and it's not a question, it's a fact. Okay,
Right.
so dealers need to clearly understand that the digital landscape has changed, and it's clearly getting more complicated to manage. If businesses don't change the way they do business, and this is a old time term, if they don't change the way they do business, people will change who they do business with.
Mm.
You know, one of the clear things, there's a lot of big competitors out there in the Harley Davidson and motorcycle world. You know, what's happening today is there's a lot of big groups. Big groups have a lot of power, strength, more power to them. We were one of those groups, but they understand how to manage the digital landscape. So my recommendation is, from a digital standpoint, you have got to understand how to get the greatest competitive advantage in the digital landscape. It's critical, because people will drive. Phones have access now to give people a lot more choice than it used to be. It used to be people just drove around town and went to the Harley dealer. So today, this gets them excited quicker. It gives them options. And if you don't understand how to manage the digital process, people will go someplace else. And that's the comment I made earlier to you, was the one thing that we've learned. You asked me one of the things that we've learned. One thing we've learned is the whole digital landscape has given customers the opportunity to decide where they're not going to buy.
Yeah. Right.
Look, if I walk into a dealership and no one helps me, I'm not going to buy there.
Yeah.
That's correct. If I get online and I click for more information and no one follows me up, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
You're not going to go there in anything that we do, in all the stuff that we do today. When we want more information, when we're online, it's exciting to be online. You actually, it's almost like being at a dealership today, or being inside the store. You get online, you're online looking for something because it's what you want. You get excited about it. You want more information, and then you wait and you wait, and then you just forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really something how the internet has rewired our brain and rewired our expectations with what's acceptable in terms of time or information or selection, So now we want the world, and we want it now. Excellent. Good. Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate that.